Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you SPs had a great night, and we're going to have a great day today. I have an interview today with the one, the only Cricket Cinema. I think I'm repeating myself because I think that's the exact thing I said at the beginning of the interview. I'm going to play the video here in a second. Just want to say hi to everyone. Cricket's here. Hi, Cricket. Irish pop through. Hi, Irish. Have a great day. Kia's here. Hello, Kia. I Rainy Tuesday. Hello. So I do have a squirrel of the day. I'll show that at the end of the interview, but there's no time like the present. So let's watch this interview with Cricket Cinema. Come in. I am doing an interview today with one of my favorites. You're going to notice a running theme, though. I interview people I like, so I'm going to say one of my favorites pretty often with these interviews because, these are people I want to talk to. These are people I want to feature. So, yeah, I have my favorites for sure. Today we have the one, the only Cricket Cinema.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Welcome in, Cricket.
Thank you. You're one of my favorites too.
Well, you're just saying that, I'm sure. Actually, I should put it back so you can see this background. Cricket made this for me. It's Edie Sedgwick with me at a club back at Studio 54 back in the day.
I was thinking Andy Warhol's Silver Factory on that one.
Oh, yes, I see the
Yeah.
cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's gorgeous. I love it.
Well,
I
thank you.
love
That's one of the many things we have in common is we're obsessed with Andy Warhol. So, yay.
it. Not everyone knows that about me. Only you and literally Michael know that about
Well,
me.
I'll try not to spill any more beans while we talk.
No, that's okay. That's a bean that you can swallow. So we have Cricket Cinema, and he's been so supportive of so many people, and I just want to feature that. I want to feature the good work he's done. A lot of people already know you from your creative music and AI graphics that you create for many channels and for your own channel, and you create a lot of my graphics. In fact, that cute little squirrel in the alien onesie was a creation from you.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. I think I told you the AI actually hit that on the first try, and that doesn't happen too often. We sometimes have spats, but you know,
Yeah,
that
I
happens with all couples, right?
yeah, I work with AI too, and sometimes you're like 20, 40 mistakes,
I
and then it
know.
takes a few minutes to generate. So that could be a few hours just to get
Yeah,
one image sometimes.
it can be a challenge, but it can also be a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
um, I'm always going to try to push the creative tools in as many directions as I can just to see what they can do. So,
What are your main art inspirations for your AI music and images?
Um, I mean, in terms of the music, if you were to really listen to like the instrumental stuff that I've been doing, I'm very, retro. I really love the music from the 1950s in particular. And then like the different music genres that kind of led up to what, we come to know as rock and roll. So that's kind of instrumentally where I like to go. And then if I'm doing like a vocal thing, I like my doo-wop and again, like the 1950s, which is interesting because that's not really like the only kind of music that I listened to growing up. But I think in terms of like creativity, where I am right now, that's just sort of what I've enjoyed making, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going for like relaxation and or like background type of music because I'm hoping that people, might want to use it for self-care and stuff like that. Like that was my main idea when I started making the instrumental stuff.
Yeah, I find your channel a place to unwind, to just chat with people, and to relax.
Right. Well, that actually started too. The instrumental music started in like a real specific way. I hope it's okay for me to say, but when Natalie lost her partner, um, she had talked about having music playing when she was going through his things. in that the lyrics were hard to listen to because of, they can carry a lot of emotion with them.
Yeah.
And I had people that I supported in my, mental health work that I had done, that had said similar things about lyrics. And so I thought, well, you can really have a lot of fun music without having the lyrics. And also, if you don't understand whatever language the lyrics are in, then you know what I mean. It just can translate in other directions a lot better or differently.
Well, that's interesting insight. I didn't know this. This is good to know. I'm learning things
Yeah,
about you.
yeah,
Full disclosure, Cricket and I are friends, guys. So,
we are friends.
yeah, he's one of my favorites because he's one of my good friends. Let's move on to some Scientology. How did you come to even learn about Scientology?
Okay, so we'll start like more recently and then move back in time a little bit. I mean, I
Okay.
think like a lot of people, I watched the Leah Remini documentary series about Scientology. And I had been aware of Scientology and also aware that it was a cult. Um, but I didn't know the details around, like, especially the kinds of like harmful things they do to people in particular, you know. But the crime and a lot of that stuff, I didn't know the specifics of that. Um, so once I had sort of watched the whole series, I noted that there was a podcast that she'd done with Mike Rinder, and started to listening to that on YouTube. And that's when it started popping up, the SPTV programming that was happening at the time. So, I started listening to Natalie, to Aaron, to uh, who did I listen to? One of the people that I discovered early on was Hey Carrie Ann, Nora. So that's kind of when I got more into like getting to know like people in chats and stuff like that. I didn't even know chats existed before that as a thing. I didn't know that was a thing on YouTube. Um, but in terms of Scientology, going back even farther than that, like where I became aware that it was a cult was similar to what Club Brain Fog has talked about in a sense, although not geographically close. But when the Jim Jones thing happened with the People's Temple down in Guyana, like that was of course really big and shocking. But there was also a certain amount of like cult awareness that happened on the heels of that. So that was where I had become more aware of it. So I'm 17 years old and I'm starting to want to move to Boston, and I'm going there to hang out on the common for some time and do some shopping. And so there I am on the Boston Common, and someone comes up to me and says, would you like to take a personality test? And I don't even think I knew about the personality test as like the gateway drug to Scientology for a lot of people at that point. But I definitely smelled something fishy. And like the Hare Krishnas were about 20 feet away. So that corner of Boston Common, there was a lot of that cult activity going on.
Yeah.
So I was fortunately educated enough at that time to know that something was up, and I said no. But when I think back on that now, I was 17, and when I was 17, I was 14. So what are you doing trying to get out of a 14 to 17-year-old teenager? You know,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I felt like I was an adult at the time, but I wasn't. My God.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was sort of like where I came to, find out about the cult as a whole, and then some more of the details.
How did you go from watching and getting into chat to deciding to support the movement?
Um, so that was kind of like a roundabout thing. I mean, I definitely wanted to support the movement in what way I could, and like trying to be like an asset to a chat, you know,
Hmm.
getting to know people. But I don't even know why or how I stumbled onto the the AI, using AI to make a picture. But I had come up with an idea for a cartoon about Scientology. And so I made it and I sent it to Natalie because I thought it would make her laugh. And obviously, a lot of her content was so serious all the time that I thought it would be a good idea to maybe give her a laugh. Um, so I was out shopping one day and I was listening to Natalie as I was shopping, and she says, "Oh, we have something that somebody sent me here. And I think it's funny how people are using this AI." And it was my comic. And I was like, oh, I wanted her to laugh at it. I didn't necessarily expect her to show it.
Yeah.
Um, and then that was where I got the idea to try to like develop the ability to make images, and offer to, like, if I could get good enough at it, provide those to people who weren't interested in using AI or had so much content creating going on that they didn't have time to deal with thumbnails and such. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I thought, well, that's a place that I can fit in, that because I didn't have a lot of money to donate to things at that time, you know. Not
Yeah.
that I'm not that I'm rich now, but so I was trying to think of ways that I could help that that weren't costing anything to me, but that would be truly helpful to other people. Um, so I think that was when I sort of started to offer in chats, hey, if anybody needs anything, like let me know and I'll try to cook something up for you.
Well,
Um,
I've personally found it very helpful. There's been times where I've just been like trying to edit and I'm trying to line up X, Y, and Z and help someone else. And you'll send me an image. I'm like, oh, perfect. This is just what I needed. And it gives me an extra step done for me already. So thank you. I
well,
appreciate it.
Well, that was a big part of it too, because that was around the time that we met. And I saw you trying to do not necessarily like the kind of creativity or what, but you were doing creative things to support and promote other channels.
Hmm.
And I thought, ooh, that's a really good, that's a good, again, good way to support the movement. We were sort of cooking along the same lines at the same time, but I definitely took a note from you when I saw you doing that. Because before that, I never thought about creating content and having like a channel of my own, like a separate channel of my own.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not putting myself down saying, oh, I never thought I could do that. It just had never occurred to me to fit in that way.
Right.
But then when I saw the opportunity to promote the channels that I cared about, CBF was Club Brain Fog was the first like moving video that I had ever made, and I didn't even use my own music and that kind of thing. But it was somewhere between fan art and then like a contribution. You know.
Yeah, that was my first foray into this too. I just wanted to support these squirrels that were out there getting shit done. I wanted to promote
Right.
the other channels. I wanted to promote the protesters and support the protesters, make them laugh, give them some encouragement. And I saw that in you too. And so we bonded over that right away. And speaking of, let's show an example of your work. This is not the one you were just speaking of, but it's another Club Brain Fog one you did. Let me find it. Here we go. 1 second. Anyway. Who makes the county dude on the old skateboard simply quake with fear? Brain fog! Brain fog! Who makes the laughter feel so that they all know that it's fun out here? Brain fog! Brain fog! Who makes them all slam the blinds just to hide her from view? Who bought a gnome in a chat to use as a traveling view? Who? Brain fog! Brain fog! Brain fog! We simply love her. That's so great. So fun. I love it.
Well,
That's
a fangirl production, I mean, that says it all right there, right? You know.
right.
I
Right.
saw I think that might have been one of the first times I used AI to make a song. And I mean, I still really, really love it. And it's just half because, it was one of the first, but I just love Club Brain Fog. So there you go.
Yeah,
And,
I think
and
one of the first ones you did for that was you helped me. I was doing the Audit LA Christmas one, and it was Xenu Comes to Town, and I was like, how do I do a video? Because usually, what back then, I was doing clips from streamers. And I was like, how am I going to do a Xenu Comes to Town for Audit LA? I don't have any images to put with that, and you had offered to help in any way you could, and I thought, oh, let me ask Cricket, and you came up with all these great images for me to use for that.
I think I remember it was a sleigh, right? With Xenu and a sleigh and
Yeah,
rice
full
and
of rice
beans
and
falling out of the
beans.
back.
Right,
I
right, it was great, and that was a big help. I think that was our first real big collaboration, and it was a big
think
help
so.
for me.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and I shouldn't play back to back clips, but you did another one just at that same time, right after I did mine, where you killed it. You nailed it. So let's play that really quick because it's one of my favorites from you. Here we go.
It was Christmas Eve and Mona opened her house. There was a squirrel by the tree, but dressed like a mouse. Xenu was chilling on a lounge by her pool, drinking tea and eggnog and just acting the fool. In Mona's backyard, the DC-8 was waiting with the can of rice and beans and Natalie's body fading. He said, we gotta go now, volcano's gonna blow, but the real truth is that he's afraid of snow. The squirrels were collecting all the holiday nuts, while the drunken body Thetans just sat on their butts. They tried to get inside, but Fat Grammy was waiting. That girl won't take no crap from tired patients. She made cheesy rice and beans, but it was so pathetic when they charged her for a book about Dianetics. That Grammy is not the inhospitable kind, but at some point a woman gonna lose her mind. She said, you gotta go, I don't mean to insult, but in 2025 I won't be in no call. Your plane's gassed up and it's time to flee, but Merry Christmas y'all and peace be unto thee. Bang. It was Christmas Eve and Mona opened her house. There was a squirrel by the tree, but dressed like a mouse. Xenu was chilling on a lounge by the pool, drinking tea and eggnog and just acting the fool. In Mona's backyard, the DC-8 was waiting with a can of rice and beans and Natalie's body thing. He said, we gotta go now, volcano's gonna blow, but the real truth is that he's afraid of snow. The squirrels were collecting all the holiday nuts, while the drunken body...
I'm not going to play the whole thing. I love that one, and you so nailed it. You so nailed it with that one.
What's funny? It occurred to me about that. So the line "Peace be unto thee" was
Yeah.
something that one of my teachers, when I was learning to be a peer specialist, she said that was the best thing you could ever say to a fool, was "Peace be
Ah.
unto thee." She would say "Peace be unto thee" and just keep walking.
Well, you did such a great job. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun to make that one, actually.
How would you best explain Scientology to someone who doesn't know about it?
That's an excellent question. I feel like I would definitely lean with crime, and trauma and abuse, and not get in the whole Xenu thing, the beliefs, whatever. I could care
Mhm.
less. I'm not a religious person. I have no skin in that game whatsoever. So I would definitely lean with you know, the nasty stuff that they had done. And if I only had a minute to edit that down to something, I would write down for them, look up Lisa McPherson and look up Operation Snow White. And then that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
would that be something like if you were to protest or advise a protester, would that be where you would guide them to lean into? Or what would be the most effective protest tactic in your opinion?
so that would be an effective protest tactic that I might choose for myself. If I were talking to another protester, I would go out of my way to encourage them to protest in the way that they feel is right for them.
Yeah.
because I'm really not one to sit here on my couch and trying to tell somebody on the other side of the world who's doing a really good and really hard thing how they should be doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's, different ways of getting messages across. And I know that, like, in my own activism back in the 90s, I'm sure that there were lots and lots of people that disagreed with text at the time. But we felt we were doing the right thing, I think, or at least we're on the right track. So
You're
now,
cutting out
like,
a
there's
little bit.
obviously there's a lot of protests going on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's lots of protests about lots of things going on now, and I feel like and encourage and support, and not try to choose for other people how go about that. Because I understand if people have a lot of anger, it's hard not necessarily to bring that in, to
Yeah.
depending on what somebody's experience has been, you know. I mean, as a listener, I think I'm less likely to hear an angry voice, but that doesn't really negate what the person on the other end needs to express.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If Scientology was just, oh no, I'm sorry. If you could talk to a current Scientologist, what would you tell them?
I probably would tell them maybe the world is not as scary as you have been led to believe, or maybe the world is not scary in the way that been led to believe that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be a hard one for me. I mean, I try to use empathy whenever I'm talking to anybody, but the farther away from my own experience the thing is, then the empathy has to stretch farther. And I've never had the experience of that particular kind of trauma. You know.
If Scientology was disbanded today, what would you like to see their resources put towards?
Well, I mean, it's my understanding that a lot of their resources are in real estate. So, with so many people here and elsewhere needing housing, I mean, I think if they were to, like, let's say, decide that there was criminality and we're going to take all your stuff and now the government owns it and they can turn it into something like
Yeah.
housing for people that need it would probably make probably the best translation for those buildings.
What advice would you give to people who want to mod or support protesters themselves? What have you learned from being a supporter?
So I think I already answered a little bit about the people that are protesting, the moderating thing. So I was trying this morning. I was trying to remember why it was that when I first started hanging out in chats, and enjoying them and getting to know people, in particular the mods, who were really, really welcoming and kind when I was like a new face. But I had it in my head that, oh, I don't think I would ever want to be a moderator. And I was trying to, the life of me, to think about why that was. It wasn't like I didn't want to be helpful. I don't know. Maybe I thought I couldn't do it. It was going to be too much pressure or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, when Carrie Ann was the first person to ask me to moderate, from Hey Carrie Ann, and what I really learned is that I'm not there to do any kind of like my own bidding in terms of, like, opinions that I might agree with or disagree with, or this is me, my favorite person from all the chats. This is not my favorite person. Like, that's not my agenda there at all. It's really my agenda there is to support the the channel in the way that they want to be supported, and have their chat look like what they want it to look like.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned. And then also, like, get as much like much information about those things beforehand. In other words, knowing what they want before I'm in there moderating. Like I really prefer more direction rather than less. I've
Mm-hmm.
had people say, oh, well, just use your own judgment. And it's like, well, that could go in a bunch of different directions.
Yeah.
So, that are not the agenda of the channel. So I think, that would be like where I was, if I were talking to somebody that knew the moderating.
Yeah, that was feedback you had given me because you are so trusted that people just say, I trust your judgment. And that was feedback you gave me. It's like, hey, I'd like a little more specifics on what you expect. So it must be nice to be so trusted, though.
Well, I was going to make that point because the first time I was asked to do it, and I think maybe after I had modded for Carrie Ann for a while, Club Brain Fog had asked me to moderate for her channel, and that was definitely like my takeaway emotion was that, I don't know, flattered doesn't necessarily feel like the right word, but like gratified in some kind of human way that they trusted me enough to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I take that as like I don't know, that's a significant thing. And I've definitely found that it's easier for me to moderate for channels where I kind of know the people a little bit better.
Yeah.
Um,
Who would you like to see most escape from Scientology?
So I thought that when I looked at the questions, I thought that was a real interesting one, and I would probably not be able to put an exact name to it. But if I had that magic power, I think what I would do is, first of all, I think I would probably want to choose someone from the Sea Org because it sounds to me like the trauma is more, likely to happen or more profound or, more something. Um, but then I would probably go to like not knowing anyone necessarily personally myself, would go to someone who had been in it and um have, have them pick a person. I mean, Laura's father,
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what she wants, and I don't want to say what anybody wants, but um like wouldn't that be a profound a
Yeah.
profound thing to be able to reunite a family in some way? Flavio Luli, I
Yeah.
know his family are really concerned about him, but I would definitely like want it to like be somebody that it was really, really, really important to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
that people that don't have people on the outside aren't important, but I would have to go the route of through people that I sort of know. And I mean, I felt lucky to have gotten to know on the level of being in chats with people, especially like consistently over a long time, people that have been in that don't necessarily have channels of their own about it or not making content about it, but still have an awareness of things that are going on inside or had gone on inside in the past. So, I would try to like network through that angle as well.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see Shelley?
Oh, I don't. I mean that sort of like real out of the box. I mean, it's hard to know. Is she a captive? Is she deliberately laying low? I don't know. I mean, I do. My mind goes back to a video that Jenna had made, um, or maybe more than one, where the highlight was a little bit more on kind of some of the stuff that Shelley had done.
Yeah.
And like level of, where's the level of complicity and those kinds of questions. So I mean, I think the it seems to me like that's one of the main things a lot of people know. If they know anything about Scientology or specific thing they know about Tom Cruise, and then there's for some reason people will like sort of bring that up more mainstream.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, and
that's why I ask it, because it is a question a lot of mainstream have about it. And so
right.
I want them to hear, you know, the take from people in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it is like, you know, to the extent that that can be an introductory question, it's
Yeah.
really quite, you know, quite valuable. And, you know, and obviously that question sort of landed Leah Remini in a lot of hot water with Scientology,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't know. I mean, to even just think about what it's like to be close to someone as damaging as the leader of Scientology.
Yeah.
You know?
I have
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say standing very close to a dangerous fire, you know.
I have a silly question next.
Mhm.
Kiss, Marry, Kill. Danny Masterson, Tom Cruise, John Travolta.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw that on the list of questions and I was like, ugh, like.
Oh, well, you got off easy because I was going to put some protesters on there, and I thought, no, I won't put them on the spot.
Well, yes, I do have my share of crushes, but those are secret.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, oh my God. I would just sort of like take myself off the market entirely for both Tom Cruise and Danny Masterson. You know what I mean? You know, in terms of the kiss or the marry part, no. I mean, I don't know, John Travolta, you know, I mean, obviously most of us don't know these people at all.
Right.
But I feel somehow, I don't know, and again, like there will probably be a good reason for me to look at my bias about this, but I see John Travolta being more victimized in some way than I do Tom Cruise.
He seems nicer somehow.
It could be that, or, you know, it could be also the fact that think about like if he's been was open with them during the auditing and stuff about his sexuality and romantic feelings and what have you. Think of like how they would have like something to hold over his head for as long as they wanted.
Yeah.
If he continued to want to keep that part of his life private, then they've got a real wedge to hold, you know.
Yeah. Well, and then add to the fact he lost his wife and sons, so he's got more sympathy for me for that too.
Yeah, and also, I mean, he was more like part of my childhood than Tom Cruise was. So again, these are my biases, you know.
Yeah.
And so I try to always keep those in my forefront so I don't step in those puddles any more than I have to.
Well, I mean, where I'm not personally asking you, so you're entitled to your biases.
Yeah.
Questions
But
okay, I want to play one more clip from you. This is one Cricket did that's a lot of fun. Hold on, let's get it. Here we go.
I walked into the org with my doubts in tow. They said, well, clear your mind, let your spirit grow. But as they hooked me up to their shiny machine, I said, oh, are these titans obscene? Are they lumpy or bumpy? Do they cling to my hips? Do they ruin my posture or make me lose grip? You can talk about freedom, the state of mankind, but do these body thetans make my butt misaligned? Do these titans make my butt look weird? Are they crowding my cheeks? Are they pulled in my rear? Do they jiggle when I wiggle? Do they sag when I cheer? Be honest, do these titans make my butt look weird? They talked about Xenu, a a galactic purge, but I was obsessed with my posterior urge. Are these spirits just lurking or clinging like glue? Do I look like I'm haunted or just overdue? I don't care about pants, it's not denim or seams. It's the ghostly attachments that are ruining my dreams. I feel bloaty, not floaty, and I'm far from clear. Are my body titans the reason my butt's so severe? Do these titans make my butt look weird? Do they huddle in my thighs or get trapped in my gear? Do they wobble when I walk? Do they quake when I steer? Tell me straight, do these titans make my butt look weird?
Just a fun one. That one was a lot of fun. It's really cute. Cricket, great job.
Thank you. That, so you've used AI, that like it doesn't create diversity very well on its own. And that includes just pictures of butts. So I had to like literally beg it for some bigger butts when I was making that, because it wants us all to have tiny butts and a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. I asked AI one time to do an ethnically diverse crowd, and it gave me all white people of around 30, and then one older African American.
Yeah, it's it's really, I mean, when I talked to Carrie Ann about that on her channel a long time ago, that was my biggest complaint, is you have to absolutely beg it for anything other than a skinny, pretty, white, rich person.
Yeah, you have to
oh dear
really
God.
specify. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was great talking to you.
Well, thank you. It's always great talking to you, and I hope that this helps your channel. And I love, love, love the wake up that you've been doing. It's really great. It's really great.
Thank you, and thanks for being a participant on it. Cricket participates a lot, almost every day, because he gives me these AI images that I can use for thumbnails, that I use for all sorts of different graphics for the public works calls. And it's been a huge help because it saves me time, and I'm taking on too much. So I appreciate it.
Anything I could take off your plate, I'm here.
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Cricket's one of my favorites, guys. He's a good friend. Go check out Cricket Cinema. Give him some love and support, and subscribe. Thank you.
I love you, and I loved your chat right back.
Aw, I love you too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was the interview, guys. What'd you think? Cricket did a great job, I think. It was a lot of fun talking to him. I talk to him often, but it was nice doing a formal ask and get some feedback and a real read on him. And just having an excuse to talk to him for an hour. It was nice. We had a fun time. I do have a supportive squirrel of the day. Here we have Cricket Cinema. Imagine that. Spooky one. I had done one before for Cricket where it showed a cricket with a UFO hovering over it. It was a cuter image, though, not as creepy as that one. So I went with the ominous sci-fi music. I thought it would be fun. Anyway, that's the show for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed just being able to hang out and be in the chat and drop links and not have to worry about what words to come up with next. Cricket believes in UFOs, he says. Let's put it up. So thank you, guys. Go out and do something fun today. Bye.